Iconic cards are all the rage, but I've got 7 reasons why I think modern cards are gonna go up the most over the next 90 days.
My name is Jeff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies, and at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love.
Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode, an episode in which I am about to make a very bold prediction about what is going to happen in the sports card hobby in the next 60 to 90 days. Iconic cards have been all the rage. And if you have been watching my channel for the last few weeks, every episode I've been talking about how we are setting record-breaking prices with cards of course, Michael Jordan and Kobe and LeBron James and Mike Trout and Ken Griffey Jr. and Tom Brady and many other iconic stars. Their cards continue to go up and up and up. But I think it's modern and particularly ultra modern cards. Cards from the last few years, cards of rookies, second-year players, third-year players, fourth-year players that are gonna go up the most in the next 60 to 90 days. What's really interesting right now is that if you look at the Sports Card Investor app and you go through which cards are trending, which cards are at the top of the list, it's all of these classic cards. You've got guys like Sean Kemp and Frank Thomas that are in the top 20 that are leading the way in terms of card price increases. This is so different than how it was even 2 months ago, where if you open the Sports Card Investor app 2 months ago, it was all modern players. It was all young players in that app that were leading the way in terms of pricing. The market has shifted considerably over the last couple of months, and many of you out there are now chasing those iconic cards. But I'm here to predict that it's gonna shift back in the next 2 months and shift back in a really big way. Now, before I tell you why, and I've got 7 reasons why I believe this is the case, but before I tell you why, let me make one point very clear. If you are investing in sports cards for the long term, if you are buying cards right now that you are planning on holding for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, maybe they're cards you're gonna give to your kids someday, I think you are better off buying iconic players. Buy the Jordans, buy the Gretzkys, buy the Messis in soccer, buy the iconic players cards. But if you're getting into the sports card game and you're thinking, how am I gonna make money in the next 6 months? I think at this moment in time, you're better looking at modern cards and ultra modern cards once again. I really do. Now, what has happened? Because many of you haven't been paying any attention to modern cards in the last couple of months. You've all been focused on all of these iconic cards. Well, while your focus has shifted to iconic cards, the modern cards, the ultra modern cards, they've been sagging in value, especially in basketball. A lot of the basketball second year, third year, fourth year players that people have been chasing, they've all been dropping big time in the last couple of months. I mean, look at this. This is Luka's 2018 Prism-based rookie card. This is from Christmas Day at the beginning of the graph to where we are now. Look at that downward trajectory. This card's down almost 34% since Christmas Day. How about his counterpart, Trae Young? Look at this. This is from the beginning of January, from early January through now. Trae Young's cards are down almost 43% since early January over the course of just a little bit over 1 month. That is quite the drop in Trae Young card prices over the course of 1 month. Let's look at Michael Porter Jr., another guy from that same 2018 class. You can see the same type of trend line. His cards are down a lot as well. Let's go the year before. Let's look at 2017. Let's look at Jason Tatum. The trend line's not quite as bad as some of the other guys I just showed you. But Jason Tatum's cards are still down 17% since early January, over the course of just over 30 days, down 17%. How about Donovan Mitchell? Donovan Mitchell's cards are down. This is insane. This is insane. Donovan Mitchell is having an outstanding season. Utah is leading the league with the record, yet his cards, just like all those other guys I showed you, they're dropping. But it's not just Donovan Mitchell. Let's go the year before. This is Ben Simmons. The 76ers are maybe the comeback team of the year. They're doing incredibly well. And yet Ben Simmons' cards are falling some more. How about Devin Booker from the year prior? His cards are absolutely tanking. Look at that. How about Giannis? Giannis is going down. Giannis is playing great. He's playing great, but look, his cards are dropping like crazy. Anthony Davis, come on, Anthony Davis? Are you kidding me out there? Anthony Davis's cards are dropping. This guy's probably going to put another ring on his finger. But what's happening is quite simple. People are putting all of their time and their energy and their attention and their money in iconic cards. And that's become the popular thing in the hobby. Over the course of the last few months, it's become wildly popular to invest in all of these all-time great players. And so people are shifting their money over into those cards. I've had so many people that I've heard on the Sports Card Investor Discord chat. By the way, our Discord server is incredible. You should go join. It's free. You can get there by going to sportscardinvestor.com. But you're going to hear a lot of people in that Discord chat talking about how they're shifting their money from modern cards to vintage cards. People are saying, I'm selling off modern cards. I'm buying vintage cards with the money. And I would say, okay, good long-term strategy. That's fine. But you're following the herd. That is what everybody is doing. You're following the trend. You're not early to the trend. You're really late to the trend if you're doing it right now. As an investor, I like to be early to the next trend as opposed to late to the trend that is already incredibly hot. And that's one of several reasons why I think modern cards are about to rage back. And these graphs that I just showed you that look horribly depressing, that, you know, for modern card holders going all the way down, I think they're going to reverse themselves pretty quickly and start going the other direction with quite a bit of steam. Let me tell you 7 reasons why. And before I do, I know some of you have probably already commented, well, Jeff is just saying this because he owns all modern cards and he wants modern cards to go back up. It would probably surprise some of you that I own more of the iconic cards than I do modern cards, considerably more. I have considerably more money invested in iconic cards than modern cards. So no, I am not doing this for personal interest, although of course, I would like modern cards to go up, and I would look like iconic cards to continue to go up as well. And I'm not saying iconic cards won't continue to go up, but what I am predicting is that modern cards are gonna go up more. All right, guys, let's get into it. Here are the 7 reasons I think this is gonna happen. So first of all, the major basketball releases are coming out soon. We've got Prism coming out in March. We've got Optic and Immaculate coming out in April. We've got Select coming out in May. And we've got National Treasures and Mosaic coming out in June. That is going to absolutely refocus the attention of many people in the hobby back on modern cards again. And it's not just basketball, other sports as well. For example, baseball. We just had Topps Series 1 come out earlier this week. So now we're getting the new baseball cards. The baseball chase is heating up as that continues to go on. These new sets coming out are going to reawaken the chase for modern cards. Second of all, dealing specifically with basketball. As we get into the second half of the season, you're going to see a lot better play out of many rookies, and they're going to start to break out. People are going to notice the performances of rookies much more as we get into the second half of the season. And that is going to get people excited about buying rookie cards. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's go back 2 years ago to Trae Young's rookie year in 2018. Actually, sorry, 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Trae Young's rookie year, 2018-2019. He started the year, I want to give you his points per game totals every single month as the year went on. So October, 19 points per game, but only a limited schedule in October. November, 14, December 15, January 18, and then February, March, and April, he averaged over 23 points per game. He figured it out. It took him until February to figure out, but he figured it out. Now, this NBA season started a little later. So maybe it's like March that some of the, March or possibly even April, that some of the rookies are really starting to put up those types of performances. It wasn't just his points that increased month by month as you went through that season. His turnovers went down every single month. His rebounds increased every month. His assists increased every month. His shooting, his field goal percentage got better as the months went on. There was a noticeable improvement month over month over month with Trae Young, his rookie season. I think we're going to see that same type of month over month improvement with a lot of this year's rookies. And there's a lot more rookies we're going to be excited about and talking about in a couple of months. What's that going to do? It's going to drive interest in modern basketball cards. Third, the sports schedule is getting busier. So we've got baseball spring training that's just about to start. That's going to fuel interest in all of the new baseball players, prospects, etc. We've got the NFL draft in late April. That always gives a boost to the football card market as people start thinking about next year. We've got the NBA and the NHL playoffs both starting in May. That's not too far away. And we've got that new NBA playoff format. So you're going to have more teams in the competition for the playoffs up until the very end. So that's May. That's only 3 months from now. We've got the NBA and NHL playoffs starting. That's part of the reason why I think this is going to be a great 3-month ride that we've got ahead of us here. Also, don't sleep on soccer. You got big tournaments going on. You got the Champions League final that's going to happen this summer. You've got Euro 2021, Copa America. You've got a lot of big soccer tournaments happening this summer as well, which will drive the soccer card market too. All right, number 4. This is a little more of a philosophical thing, right? Collecting modern cards, in my opinion, is more fun than vintage iconic cards because actual actions on the court, actual actions on the field or on the diamond are affecting the value of those cards. Trust me, I love my Kobe Bryant collection. I love my Michael Jordan collection. Those are great to look at. But the energy and excitement from getting to watch Luka go off for 50 or getting to watch Giannis have some crazy monster dunk and know that that's going to help give his card prices a pop the following day, that to me is really exciting. And a lot of the newer people who are coming into sports cards are coming in from daily fantasy sports. They're coming in from sports gambling, and they want that energy. They want that edge. They want that excitement. And yes, it's great to have the players who you collect from yesteryear and to be able to look at those cards with pride and to be able to enjoy them like you might enjoy a fine piece of art. But there's nothing that's going to cause those cards to have the same energy and excitement and edge as there is investing in Ja Morant and then watching him have an incredible second half of the year, watching Memphis go on a surprise run in the playoffs and saying, wow, I really picked right with Ja Morant. His card prices have tripled over the course of the last 3 months, right? That energy, that excitement, it's not quite the same with iconic cards. It's there with modern and ultra modern. My 5th reason, there are startups soon entering the sports card hobby, new marketplaces, new fractional ownership models. A big fractional ownership one that I'm invested in that I think is going to do great things, and they largely are focused on the modern, the ultra modern cards, the younger players, not the vintage, not the iconic. I think as more startups come in and they start rethinking how marketplaces can work, how fractional ownership can work, all those types of things, a lot of that focus from what they're going to be doing is going to be on the modern cards. And as a result of that, a lot of people are going to be, once again, focusing on the modern cards because they're going to help fuel that and shepherd those people along. Number 6, we've had an incredible run, an absolutely incredible run in the iconic card market over the last 60 days, 90 days. It has been mind-blowing how much Jordan's cards have gone up, how much Kobe's cards have gone up, how much LeBron's cards have gone up, all the guys, right? Baseball, guys I've already talked about, Trout, Griffey Jr., football, Brady, of course, his cards have gone nuts, aided by the Super Bowl, but even without the Super Bowl, his cards had been going up as well because people are buying these iconic cards and they're setting unbelievable records. But it can't last forever. And at some point, every good thing has to come to an end. Maybe not to an end, but it has to at least cool down a little bit. And it will cool down. We've set the records. The records have been shattered. The growth is going to start to slow on the iconic cards a little bit because it just can't sustain the pace forever. And as soon as the growth starts to slow down a little bit, a lot of people who are going like, oh man, I was making so much money flipping Kobe Bryant cards last month, are now going to say, well man, Kobe's cards are kind of flat. I wonder what cards I can go flip next. And then they're going to look to ultra modern and to modern. So I think you're going to see this wave occur in the hobby. And again, I'm not saying that iconic cards won't continue to go up. And I'm not saying they're not a good investment. I'm just saying I think attention is going to shift back and ultra modern cards are going to become a lot more popular in the next 60 to 90 days. Final reason, number 7, go opposite of the current trend. Think about the next trend. This iconic card trend, it's been a really good trend. But if you're getting into that game now and you're still buying, expecting that LeBron's cards are going to 2x again, I think you're too late. I think you better start concentrating on the next trend. That's what savvy investors do. And I think the next trend is back over in modern and ultra modern. And this is all cyclical. Probably what's going to happen is ultra modern's going to heat up for the next few months. We're going to get into the NBA playoffs. Once we get deep into the NBA playoffs, ultra modern will probably start to quiet down again, especially for basketball, right? And then all of the sudden, iconic basketball cards might start to go back up again. Who knows? Like it's kind of a cyclical thing. These things happen. And I'm just telling you, as a sports card investor, one of the best things you can do is not just jump on the trend after the trend's been going on for a while, but try to find what that next trend is. Try to do that. And you'll make out better in the long run, in my opinion. Now, I know one popular argument against ultra modern cards are the fact that a lot of people think they're overprinted. The population counts are extremely high when compared to the iconic cards. That's a real concern. And to be honest, I am getting more and more concerned about that every month because although Panini and Topps, they say the right things and they say that, they have the collector's best interest in mind and they're trying to curb the amount of printing. The truth of the matter is the pop counts are getting pretty high. And the truth of the matter is they keep coming out with more and more sets and more variations, more and more ways to take advantage of the current hot sports card market. And look, I get the fact it is tough for them because they're playing a very difficult game of how much do we print so that people can actually find cards in retail and that the secondary market isn't as crazy as it currently is and people can enjoy cards, kids can enjoy cards. But at the same time, how do we not overprint to where, cards really fall in value because all of a sudden supply is exceeding demand. So it's a very difficult balancing act for them. But the pop counts are going up. But if that is your concern, if that is what you are concerned about, then I have a very simple solution for you. Buy cards from 2017 and prior. You can still buy the modern basketball players Just go back and buy Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum and guys from before them. Buy Joel Embiid. His cards have been great. Buy Anthony Davis. Buy Kawhi Leonard. Buy James Harden. Buy Kevin Durant. Because the pop count on all of their cards are pretty darn small. Pretty darn small. It was really 2018 was the first year, the Luka and Trae year. That was the first year that we really saw a big jump in pop counts compared to what they were on the 2017 cards. And then, of course, we saw another jump between 2018 and 2019. So if overprinting is your concern, I get it. Just go back a few years, find those gems from, 2007 through 2017. Find those players who you think are going to pop and have potential and put your money there. And then you have less of a pop count concern to be worried about. All right, bookmark this episode, put in your calendar to come back here 60 to 90 days from now. Let's give it 90 days, and you can either congratulate me in the comments for being right, or you can make fun of me in the comments for being completely wrong. Do you think I'm right or wrong right now? I would love to hear what you say in the comments below. And while you're down there in the comments, please click that subscribe button, click that bell icon. We want to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. Please do that for me. And also follow along with the fun by downloading the Sports Card Investor app in the App Store. It's totally free. Go to the App Store and search for Sports Card Investor. And if you're serious about making some money on the modern and ultra modern market in the next 90 days, you got to get Market Movers, because Market Movers is going to show you all of the detailed graphs and intelligence on how prices are moving each and every day. You can even set up alerts as to when cards hit certain levels or go up or down by a certain amount. You can find out more about Market Movers by going to sportscardinvestor.com and clicking Market Movers in the main menu bar. I'm eager to read your comments and see what you think. And let's see what happens over the next 60 to 90 days. Until then, until my next episode, I'll be back in a couple days. You don't have to wait 60 or 90 days for my next episode. I'll be back in a couple days. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. See you again soon.